themartialman.com.
Okay, this part here is a continuation of talking about the roadmap lah. And in this case here, we are talking about the last part of the roadmap, which is the milestone. Now, why the milestones are important? Because it allows someone who's practicing the internal arts, be it Qigong or any internal art, to roughly know how far they've gone down that journey. Just like when you're traveling on the road, right? You have the milestone as indicators. So we have the milestones for internal progress, so to speak. Now, there are a few milestones. I will not be mentioning all of them because some of them does not make sense to all the arts. But at least the first 3 or 4 of them will be common to anything related to internal arts that you do, see. And yeah, so we'll be talking about those 3, and we also later on be showing some demonstration how you test for those milestones, okay? So the milestones are important because it allows you to measure your progress. And as I say, at least the first 3 or 4 milestones is common no matter what type of internal art that you do. Then the rest of the milestones pertains to what we do in Yan Shou Gong and in our Chee Kim Thong lineage of arts, which includes the 5 ancestors and Wu Mei. And the first 3 milestones is grounding, rooting, and once you can do rooting, then the ability to sing the Jing down to the ground and to bring it up as well. Okay, so to us, this is the 3 milestones, and these 3 should be common to all whatever Qigong that you do, right? If you do Qigong and you can't ground and you can't root, then I think there's something missing there, right? So it's important. So no matter what type of Qigong you do, you must be able to ground and root. Now, a lot of people confuse grounding and rooting. Okay, grounding essentially means you have a firm footing on the ground, right? You can stand firmly on the ground and you can take a fair bit of forces. But grounding has a limitation because if the force exceeds more than what you can stand, you will go back. But if you have grounding, when you move back, at the most is you take a step back and you regain your stability. So someone who does not have grounding, when you give them a hard shove, right, they will not only fall backwards, but they will go backwards and they will be in an uncontrollable situation, you know, they can't regain their balance at least for a few steps, you see, right? Whereas one who has grounding will straight away step back and boom, he's back on his feet. And you know, and from the martial arts point of view, then you're ready to defend or counter-attack. Now, the difference between grounding and rooting is in grounding, as far as our philosophy is concerned, allows you to actually have a connection with the ground, right? Now, in many different metaphors or phrases, like you can say, to be able to connect to the ground chi, you see, so you can link to the ground, in other words. So, with grounding is whatever force that the opponent puts onto you, you can transfer the energy to the ground. And since you have that connection to the ground, you can also bring the energy up from the ground. But we are using this in a metaphorical sense because I don't actually bring energy up from the ground. Basically what I do is I press down on the ground and I get the reaction force coming up from the ground, and I can bring that up to my shoulders and then eventually to my arms. Okay, so that's why the rooting part is important, right? So once you're rooting, then the third part is you can sink energy down the ground, you can bring the energy back up, right? And then here is where I might want to mention the 4th milestone, is that once you can bring the energy up, you are able to bring the energy to your hands, not just the body, but to the hands, okay? And this is, of course, very useful when you use it for healing as well as for martial arts, because there's no point having the chi or the energy or jing, whatever it is, and you only keep it in the body, you see, and you cannot bring it to your hands, you see, right? So those are the 4 milestones. At least the first 3 should be common to all types of Qigong, Nei Gong, or internal martial art practice, and someone who is fairly, you know, competent should be able to do that. The 4th one, it depends on what you do, but I think it's, you know, it should be quite common. Then from the 5th one onwards, and we'll do a quick demo of it rather than explain in detail, because this is a concept that we use for our arts, the Chee Kim Thong family of arts. And I don't know whether this is applicable to other arts, okay? So to test for grounding, right, is very simple. This is a simple test we use for grounding. And you can use this, you know, if your friend comes to you and say, oh, I've been doing Qigong. I think one of the best ways to test them is say, okay, let's test your grounding. And we do this in a totally harmless and non-aggressive manner. And the easiest way to do it is ask the person stand in a casual stance, right? Do whatever he needs to ground, right? And okay, now, okay, you do it with grounding. So you ground first, right? And I just use one finger and push on his sternum, his chest bone, right? And if if he's grounded, then it's not easy for me to push him, right? Of course, I can't put a lot of force on one finger, and that's okay. So you can see, he's solid, and I feel that he's very grounded, right? Yeah. So that's a good test, okay? Now, let's say, Jimmy, you shake off the grounding. You act like a person who has no grounding, right? So if someone has no grounding, if I push, he will go, right? His feet will lift up, and he will just drop backwards. So if he is good, he'll take one step back, right? And he'll maintain balance, right? But someone who's not grounded, they will just go, right? They will be like that. They will be stumbling a bit, you see, right? So imagine if you have a force like that, they will be off balance or they will fall over, see? So there's no grounding, right? And again, ground, right? There, this is with grounding, see? Right? I can't move him, right? Not with one finger anyway. Okay. The other way is, somebody, they lean forward, right? Yeah, they lean forward to a pose. So if he pushes his weight on me, I can feel it, you see. So if I feel that the force is not going down, but he's pushing towards me. And so all I do is let go, and he will come forward. This is not grounding. This is just him putting his weight, against my push, okay? Okay, so if Jimmy is pushing on me, first, I take his energy down to the ground, right? So I'm now rooted, see? My body is loose. I don't have to lean forward, right? Yeah. And he can push more force. Yeah. I'm still loose, right? Yeah. Now I sink. So I go, right? And he will sink along with me because I'm sinking my energy down, okay? So that is a clear indication of rooting. Now the next thing is, if I can sink it down, I can bring it up, you see? So you push, right? I hold, I sink, I bring it up. Right? So he feels like, the energy is coming out back at him, you see. So that is the third milestone. Once you can root, you should be able to take it down and bring it up. Okay? Then, that is the thing. Then the last part is, the fourth part then is, you must really bring the thing up to the hands. So if I put my hands like this in a very passive position, right? Same thing. I absorb, I root, I bring it down, right? So if I sink, my hand, I sink, right? I'm not sinking my hand doesn't move down, right? It stays where it is, right? I'm not pulling down, because it goes down is because he's pulling my hands down as well. So I just sink now, see? Sink, right? Yeah, he sinks, right? Yeah. So same thing, here, if he pushes, I hold, I want to float him, see? Right? And I'm not moving my hand. So this is now being able to put the thing to my hands, right? So there's no point having the thing here. You must be able to have the thing here, right? And it doesn't matter if it's a whole hand, one hand, the arm or whatever. I can do it with one finger, let's say very lightly. So Jimmy is very loose, loose. See? He's not giving me any ability to do anything to him at all, right? So if I connect into, so this is the third part. Not only do I bring the Qing into him, I must be able to connect into him if he's very loose, right? For my Qing to have an effect on him. So I bring the Qing up, I connect to the finger, and now see, I float him. Right? Yeah. Okay? Yeah. He's just putting his arm there. In fact, it could be one finger. Right? Of course, I can't float him that way, right? But once I can root, I can bring it up, right? I connect in, now I float him. Right? He's floating. Yeah. And similarly, sinking, right? One finger, right? So I root, I sink, right? I connect in and I sing further. Now, there. You sing, okay? So that is the fourth milestone, okay? So, and already I think, out there, in the world, this is a fairly proficient level already, right? Then, and you notice I mentioned the fact about connecting in, so that actually is the fifth milestone, right? The ability, once I have the Jing or energy in my hand, I can connect into him, right? And then I can direct my Jing where I want it to go. Let's say I'm touching him here, right? With two fingers, and I want my Jing to go to his hip, or okay, whatever, right? So I connect in, go. See, his hip goes, right? Or his shoulder. Okay, this is more obvious. Then maybe his leg, his back leg, right? So I go down the leg, right? Right, so that goes, right? So it's up to me. Okay, so this ability to connect in is, you can say, the sixth level, and there are more weird stuff after that, lah. This is already Jing straight away, right? Yeah. Okay, so Jing, then this there, right? So again, my structure doesn't move, you see. I just here, and this ability to bring it up, right? So that's how, once you have the rooting and you have the Jing at the hand, right? And the other way would be more vicious, lah. This is basically to smash the arm, to break the arm already, right? So the first is just to block, so this is there, right? And this will break. And then it's here, right? So that's how we use that. So, I mean, there are many methods, but the whole idea is once you have the energy in your hands, you can do many things, you see. So if he throws again, you see, now here, see? This is up, right? His whole structure has been taken because why? Once it contacts, the energy is already in, right? Now, you see, right? Yeah, is there? And I'm not hitting it hard. I can, of course, I won't do because it hurts, is to have that smashing force as well, Nah, it's there, and this is all mine, right? Yeah. Okay, so once you have the Jing in the hand, then you can do this sort of thing, right? Otherwise, if this is empty, see, I am the one who bounces back because now he has the Jing here, I don't have the Jing here. So you flip me, then he's going to throw that punch already. So the difference between what we call an empty hand or a full hand is that, you see, the ability to bring the Jing up, right? Yeah. So if I have the Jing here, now see, it's up to me, right? So this is not empty. But if I'm empty and he's stronger than me, I'm the one who goes backwards. Okay, so I hope that sort of clarifies certain points. Thank you.
TheMartialMan.com